No Damon Wayne for generations was major pain. And we kill each other, but when it's done, we don't say a thing. You niggas tripping. Well, in other words, y'all niggas Christian. Worship white Jesus when scriptures give his description. And shout out to my kindred that's really living what's written. Keeping laws that was given instead of willfully.
How you doing, man? How you doing? That's laughable.
It's pretty, it's blunt. That's what it is.
It is, and this is the thing, man. We put stuff up here so that people are scared of the truth. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, sure.
And this is why I was saying, like, it's laughable, because when we ask this to the people who did it, they'll laugh and they'll say, man, that's in the past, right? Would you say this happened to your ancestors?
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
No, it's I've seen the 13th Man. It's pretty vicious.
You seen the what again?
13th Man.
What is that?
Oh, it's the documentary. They used that clip right there. 13th Man.
Can you explain that to me? What do you think about it?
They used to make postcards of lynching. You know, like, and give them out to people. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that, man?
What do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I feel like, how could man do that? You know, how could man just be so wicked to somebody, basically?
Right. So then, did that movie talk about what should happen about it, or is it just putting it out there and you make your own thoughts about it, or?
It was talking about how it still goes on. It's still
exactly,
going. How it's still going on. They just changed the name, you know, from like they were calling them. They have a clip of a vice president to Nixon talking about how they can't call them niggers anymore, and so they just started talking about like social reform, like that they changed the wording of it. So basically, just to still lock us up and enslave us still, basically.
See, the big thing that I noticed, they think we're stupid. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for example, if I were to ask you what's your nationality, what would you say?
Black.
Black in Spanish is negro.
Yeah.
That also in Latin, when you go back into it, it's negro, nigger. Same exact thing.
Same exact
so,
thing.
but what do they tell you, right? You're black. Where is black at?
Where is black?
Where is black?
I have no idea.
See, and this is the thing, man. The worst thing that I think that they think that we're stupid is that our people don't ask questions, right? But you seem like an intelligent man. You looked into this before,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So whenever we ask people about this, what do they think? They always say that's in the past. Forget about it.
Yeah.
But like how you said, how can we forget about something that's going on right now, right? What do you think should happen for what they did, though?
Man.
Do you think anything should happen?
That's $1 million question. I mean, like, it's all based on opinion, I guess. I don't know, man. Like, how can you blame people of the past for? I mean, can you blame people of the present for things in the past?
What if they're benefiting from it, and we're not, though?
Oh yeah, definitely, that's wrong. If there's any sort of benefit that they're gaining from it, for sure, something should be done.
Let me put it like this for you, right? Like the indigenous of here, like how I believe right here is the Pomo people, right? They're the indigenous people to San Francisco, but they don't own none of these lands. They don't own that skyscraper.
Yeah.
But Ohlone, they don't own none of this over here, right? But who's benefiting from it? The people who conquered, right? So should the people who got conquered be like, you know what? It's in the past too. It's affecting them, right?
No, definitely. Were you talking about reparations or something? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, if that's one way of justice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure we should get something for the indecency of the man. Basically.
Are you from San Francisco?
No, I'm from Ventura.
Ventura. Okay, so there's been this talks in San Francisco, right? They're trying to. This is the offer. They're trying to give every single black person who descends from a slave $5 million in San Francisco. And you know what, in San Francisco, they're saying they said we didn't have nothing to do with slavery. Why should we have to pay them? That's the ideas of every single person who conquered over here.
Oh wow.
Right? They say we don't want to be held accountable for anything. We don't want to acknowledge it. Right? Let's move on. Right? But like how you said, man, this is affecting our people, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're so-called black. I'm
still affected from it. You know.
How?
Like, well, where I'm from, like they locked me up for anything. You know, and like my whole entire life.
In Ventura, that's in LA, right?
Yeah.
Down in LA?
Yeah. And my whole life, I would sit there and watch people get lighter sentences in front of me, and I'd be like, oh, for sure, I'm gonna get a light sentence on this. and then just
throw the whole
max me out, you know, like, and I didn't even have the, I didn't have any of this knowledge, you know. I didn't know that there was an actual plan of theirs. You know, this is the actual
plan of who, though?
that our Nixon and his vice president put forth a plan to well, even before then.
That's what I was gonna say.
Even before then, even as soon as they lost their slaves, they didn't lose any slaves because they just started locking them up and then getting free work out of them. You know,
what is that called today? That's the prison system.
That's
right
the
there.
prison system.
That's the prison system.
Of course. And they locked me up.
Get that.
You believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get the Bible.
Say you get in trouble more than the other people, right? Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
Right. And who's that other men that they're talking about?
Who is that other man?
Who is that? Who are those people that were getting lighter sentences than you?
Oh, the white people.
White people.
Yeah.
Right. You don't. What do you see in the majority in prison cells, man?
Fucking black people, black and brown people.
It's us.
It's us.
We're the ones that they're making money out of.
We're still.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, they still make money off us. They pay us 38 cents an hour to work all day. You know. Yeah,
Right.
of course.
Here, get what you had.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
What does tribulation mean?
Tribulations is troubles.
Troubles, you're going through something, and it'd be like, all right, you know what? You're putting me through this. It's a righteous thing with God to put them through that trouble, right? Would you say that's justice?
I don't even know. I wouldn't even know.
So what would be justice to you?
Justice would be just. Well, it's not even just recognizing it. I guess something has to be done. Something has to be done.
Something.
Just something.
All right.
For sure.
Do you think that they'd be willing to share their power with us
Of course
and give
not.
up their authority?
Of course not.
So what do you think's gonna
Even
happen?
when they give us a black president, that still wasn't them giving up. That was
Obama's
their
not-
plan.
Obama's ancestors didn't go on slave ships.
Yeah, that was their,
Obama was a Kenyan. You know
Yeah,
that? Kenyan is in East Africa. His ancestors didn't come on slave ships.
Yeah.
And you know Kamala Harris isn't black either.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Her forefathers owned slaves in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because she's East Indian. Her parents are East Indian.
Yeah.
You knew that, right?
Yeah.
You know, people say she's black, but no, she's not really black.
Yeah.
And she's actually was the DA of San Francisco, right?
Oh yeah.
And she was hiding evidence from certain people to put them in jail longer. You know, basically putting what the lady say? She basically locked people up for like marijuana crimes. And then she laughed at, okay, I used to smoke weed type of thing. Like, you know, it's not necessarily a criminal act.
Yeah.
But if people are smoking weed and getting caught with weed and things like that in California, which is pretty much the birthplace of weed, or the most common place you can smoke, whatever the case may be. But why would you criminalize it, and then all of a sudden when you get presidency, oh, well, I just smoked it and I laugh at what I did.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, she literally said on camera that I'm not going to single out any particular law to help out any black people. Did you hear that before?
No, I didn't hear that.
She said that out of her own mouth because a reporter asked her, are you going to do anything specifically for black people? She's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
You know what I just found out too, that it goes along with what you guys are talking about, like something should happen. I just barely found out that Indians had slaves. Indian tribes.
Wait a minute.
Slaves, but yet they're getting reparation for whatever happened to them. Well, where's ours?
What's your name, brother?
They were enslaving us too, Mike.
Mike?
Yes.
That's my real name. That's a powerful name, by the way.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. There were hundreds of native tribes.
Yeah.
How many native tribes were there in the Americas that you're familiar with?
I don't know, like a handful. I don't.
Hundreds, thousands actually.
Okay.
Even though I would say there
But
was.
there's only like Cherokee and
that's what I was going to go to.
Chumash, like just a couple names.
But here's the thing: when you reference Native Indians had slaves, you know why they had slaves?
Why?
Because they conformed to the European man's. They were getting oppressed so much.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, if you go with our basically our game plan, we'll allow you to get up out of this hellhole we're putting you through. Because the Native Indians were here first, right?
Yeah.
Before the black man came, things like that.
Yeah.
And they got their land taken.
Yeah.
So just imagine, you get your land taken, you get nearly wiped off the face of the earth, and then they say, okay, we're bringing these black slaves through, we're working them half to death, and then, okay, in order for you to ease up your particular pain on this end, you have to take these slaves. Most of them didn't do it. But you know about the five civilized tribes?
The
five civilized tribes that conformed to the European standard.
Oh, okay.
That's who had slaves. Not all the Indians had slaves.
Oh, okay.
Because if you study history, most of the Native Americans took in runaway slaves.
Took in runaway slaves.
And
that's what I thought.
That's
they took in runaway slaves. But then I read how the Cherokee had plantations that rivaled the ones in the South.
You're right. But the Cherokee, those are the ones that sold out to the Europeans because they wanted to get a piece of their land back. Maybe the white man take the foot off their neck a little bit, even though they already took half the land and slaughtered them and then put them in boarding schools. I got all type of books on Native Americans. Most of them didn't conform to that standard. That's why they got their land taken from the East Coast to the West Coast. You know what I mean? So what you're referencing, they allowed those Native Indians to feel some type of superiority over the black slaves, even though their ancestors already got slaughtered for the most part. And quiet as kept. Give me look up the Dawes Act. Tell us, huzzah. I need my research to come up here. Huzzah. Here's the thing. Look up the Dawes Act, and you know, after a while, white people started infiltrating Native Indian tribes, Cherokee especially. White people come up here and say they're Cherokee all the time. Okay, well, wait a minute. How are you Cherokee? Most of the time, look at my grandmother. Wait a minute. If you study biology, you are who your father is. You understand that? If I plant an apple seed anywhere in the world, it's going to be an apple, right? So if a black man slicks, that's your girlfriend?
Yes.
She's white?
She's white.
Yeah, if you sleep with your white girlfriend, is the baby going to be white when it comes out? No matter the skin complexion. No matter what the skin complexion is, it's going to be a black baby, right? Because it comes from you. That's the same how the Bible works. If an Asian man sleeps with an East Indian woman, that baby is Asian no matter what it looks like when it comes out. So the same thing is when white people infiltrated the Cherokee Indians after they sold out to them, first and foremost, the white people rose into power at that time. Those are the chiefs now. If you look at it, Google it. You can Google it right now. Who's the chief of Native American Cherokee? It's going to be a white man. And that's what's called a $5 Indian. Because back in that time, they allowed white people to be Indians by paying a $5 fee. And that's who owns the casinos right now. You referenced that earlier, right? Not all of them, but they gave white people power in the Native Indian tribes, because those are the same tribes, like I said, they sold out and had black people in slavery. Give me that?
Okay, the Dawes Act, also known as the General Allotment Act.
The General Allotment Act, read?
The law authorized the president to break up reservation land, which was held in common by the members of a tribe, into small allotments to be parceled out to individuals.
Individuals? What individuals are these? Wait a minute, they already own the land. So what individuals had authority to break up the land and then take it over? They were giving it to white people. Go ahead.
Thus, Native Americans registering on a tribal roll were granted allotments of reservation land.
Yeah, so you had to register to be a Native Indian. So guess who's in that same line? White people. I pay $5, I can become a Native Indian now. Even though I'm a European from Europe, I can become an Indian and own this native land, and eventually, like I said, still be over the Native Indians, the natural-born Native Indians, the indigenous people. That's what was going on. So we can say that, okay, Native Indians did play a part in enslaving certain Africans, if you want to call it that, but they didn't do it by choice. They didn't do it, okay, let's just do it because we're here. No. Because we already said that the Native Indians took in slaves, and they propped up the black slaves that ran away. They had them marry intertribal marrying, made them chiefs in that reference, but it was a natural thing. And the slaves actually ran to Mexico as well. But you say you believe in the Bible, though, right? And he asked you a question earlier about justice. Well, how do you think God feels about the picture we pointed out, the documentary that you looked into? How do you think God is going to react to all the past 500 years of rape, robbery, murder of the indigenous and the quote-unquote black man?
He's not going to be too happy.
But what do you think is going to happen, though?
Judgment.
Judgment? What type of judgment?
The judgment.
The judgment. What's the ultimate judgment?
God's judgment.
I know, but give me some context to it.
What do you mean?
Is it death? Is it imprisonment?
It's you're going to that place. To that
hell? You talking about hell? Well, here's the thing. Give me Isaiah 5. We up here aren't your typical Christian group, you know what I mean? We believe we are the people of the Bible. We believe you're a child of God. You're an Israelite. Where are you from, actually?
Ventura.
You say your father's African American, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you more than likely, just based off what you're telling me, we would believe you to be from the tribe of Judah.
Okay.
And you know the slaves came from what? West Africa, right?
Yes.
If you look at an ancient map, not an ancient map, but
We
probably
were
the
the first
1500s.
Jews. Yeah, I know about that.
What's that?
We were the first Jews. Yeah.
You are a Jew. You're still a Jew right now.
Yeah.
You just lost your identity through what? Enslavement. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely give me what did I have you pulled up last week? Israel Hill. Because Israelites were in America.
Yeah.
Israel Hill. There's literally a place on the East Coast, Israel Hill, because people that go off the slave ships, a few of them knew they were Israelites because we did keep Hebrew customs in West Africa, and that's how they knew who to get. They didn't get all Africans on the coast of West Africa. They got the people that were keeping the Hebrew customs because that's a curse in the Bible for us disobeying the Creator. But that's not the point I wanted to make. Yeah, show them that. Show them that picture. Yeah, we're going to talk about hell because we don't necessarily believe in hell because that's not in the Bible, actually. We're going to prove it to you. We're not just going to say it, we're just going to prove it to you. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So people knew they were Israelites.
Yeah.
Hey, you watch sports? You listen to hip hop much?
Yeah, I listen.
What happened with Kanye not too long ago? What did he do? You familiar with that?
Yeah, he was saying how the industry, anti-Semitic comments about how the Jews.
Did he say anti-Semitic?
Well, he's saying now Jews are all run the whole industry basically.
Which is true. But what's the anti-Semitic about that, though? What's the anti-Semitic about the truth? What does anti-Semitic mean?
That's just what they said.
What does anti-Semitic mean?
Basically racist, right?
No.
No.
Let's look up the word Semitic real quick. Then we'll get to hell. And I'm gonna read it to you, and I want you to give me the understanding, because people they've what's the word they've taken that concept and only applied it to one people, which is the Jewish people. But I'm gonna prove that a lie. Read.
So this is the word Semitic. It's relating to or denoting a family of languages.
A family of what?
Languages.
It's a family of languages. Has nothing to do with race. Read.
That include Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, and certain languages of such as the Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of Afro-Asiatic family.
What did it say? Mike, what did it say?
Yeah, it was to a family of languages.
A family of languages. What did the last part say? Read that again.
Read the languages?
Just the last part.
Okay, come. Constituting Salakia, the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family.
An Afro-Asiatic family.
Yeah.
Are those people in Israel Afro-Asiatic?
No.
I mean, technically they are, but they're white people though. They're actually mutants.
Okay.
No offense to your girlfriend, but they're mutants.
Okay.
They're the only people on earth without melanin. But go ahead.
This is 2. Revelation to the peoples who speak Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic.
Yeah, so Arabs are Semitic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know about Ham, Shem, and Japheth, the 3 sons of Noah?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Shem, or Semitic is a word for, basically another word for Shem. A Shemite. We're Shemitic. You're Shemitic. She's Shemitic, actually.
Yeah.
What? The Jewish people aren't only Shemites. The Arabs are Shemites. Certain Canaanites speak a Shemitic language. You know what I mean? Asians are Shemites, quiet as kept. You know why? Because they all come from Shem in the Bible. Indians are, the East Indians over there in India. Those are Shemites.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily, oh, it's a racist thing. No, it's about a language group. Hebrew, Aramaic, like I said, Phoenician. Those are language groups, but it's an Afro-Asiatic subgroup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And here's the thing. Those people, that's why they hijacked that term to make it seem, they monopolized it and hijacked it to make it seem like, oh, well, if you mention anti-Semitic, it's only talking about us. But no, anti-Semitic means you're anti-Shemite. I'm a Shemite. You're a Shemite. She's a Shemite. Asians are Shemites. Like I said, it's all about who you descend from in the Bible. They're all, if you descend from Shem, you're a Shemite. The ancient Assyrians were Shemites. The Babylonians were Shemites for the most part, or the Chaldeans actually. Some of them are Ham, some of them are Japheth. The Japhites will be considered like the Samoans, the Tongans, the Southeast Asians. You know, those are Japhites. The Hamites will be more like the Egyptians, the Canaanites, like I said before. But let's get to the hell aspect. What you got? Matter of fact, let me touch this first, because this is why I want to bring out how God feels about the future judgment of what's going to happen. Read that.
This is the book of Job, chapter 27, starting at verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with God.
This is a portion of a wicked man with God. So this is what God's going to give to a wicked person. Now, in this chapter, Job, he's in the land of Edom. Now, we would associate Edom today with being the European man or the Caucasian man or woman. And he's talking about, he's prophesying in their land. Read.
This is the portion of a wicked man with God and the heritage of oppressor.
The heritage of oppressors. That's what's going on, right? It's been 500 years. The heritage of oppressor being passed down generation to generation. Their wealth, their businesses, things like that, they've been passed down to their children, right? Go ahead.
Which they shall receive of the Almighty.
Go ahead.
Verse 14, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword.
If their children be multiplied, it's for the sword. So, like you said earlier, God's judgment, or the judgment that will come on America, specifically, is death and destruction coming here. Not necessarily about people getting shot to death, things like that. It's going to happen by what's going on in Russia today. Thermonuclear destruction. That's how God's going to destroy America. Read.
And his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread.
Yeah, the money that they conjured up, the trillions of dollars that they've already accumulated over the times, they're not going to be able to buy their way out of some type of salvation. Because it's already been pre-written in the Bible. You know about the prophecy, right? Prophecy is something that's said before that's going to happen in the future. Yeah, and quiet as kept, our histories in the prophecies about us going on slave ship as well. It's in the Bible too, but I want to touch on hell first. Give me that. This is the biblical concept of hell. Read.
This is Isaiah 5 and 13. For my people are gone into captivity.
This is the context. My people have gone into captivity. Read.
Because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself.
What is it talking about? It's talking about captivity, being enslaved. That's hell. It's a condition in this context. Read.
And opened their mouth without measure, their glory in their multitude, and their glory in the multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoices shall descend into it.
You're going to descend into hell by what? Being subject to captivity to another nation. Us being in America is being in captivity. Even though we're free to roam around and, go to our home and drive anywhere we want, but in all actuality, if we don't have a license, we don't have registration, insurance, we got to pay for everything to get by and to stay afloat, including your home, room and board, food, water. We got to pay for everything here. Why? Give me that Haggai. Give me Haggai real quick. What you had? We'll get that in a second. So this is a concept of hell. Hell is a condition, or if you read another aspects, it's the grave. If you die, you're in hell, quote unquote. That's what it means in the Hebrew terminology. Read. 1 and 6. You got time, brother? Or you gotta go?
I gotta go.
I'm gonna read you 2 more. Give me Romans 28. I got 2 more for you, brother. I appreciate your time. Read.
Haggai 1 and 6. You had sown much and bring in little.
This is the history of our people. Because we believe you're an Israelite, brother. It's saying what? You have sown much, but bring in little. Most people in America live paycheck to paycheck. Not just black people, the Hispanic people. A lot of people. If you don't have like a prestigious degree or things like that or inheritance. But it says you've sown much and bring a little. That's how I feel every time I get paid. It's going right back out the door. Go ahead.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
Go ahead.
Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Yeah, when you earn wages, you earn it to put it in a bag with holes, meaning what? Like I just referenced. You get a paycheck, bills is coming around the corner, whether it's Netflix, whether it's light bill, water bill, rent especially is the heaviest one, car payments, like I said, insurance, things like that. It's a revolving door of oppression. And why were there bills before the white man came to America? Of course not. The Native Americans didn't know about money. But who put a value on gold and diamonds and rubies and water? The oppressor, the land. We had to buy land? Like, wait a minute, land is free. I'm going to tell you a brief story real quick. You know Oprah, right? The billionaire black Oprah. You know she got in trouble she got in trouble, she got chastised and people raised an eyebrow at her because she has land in LA. And she basically has a house and she was buying so many gallons of water for pennies on the dollar because she has access. And Nestle was doing the same thing. The company Nestle, they had an underground aquifer of water that is naturally under the ground, and they're selling bottles of water to us, making billions of dollars. Meanwhile, it's a natural occurrence in the ground.
Yeah.
That's criminal.
Yeah.
We're paying for things that are free to the earth because we're in oppression, and we have to have a money system because the people in power have us in slavery. Period. No matter what you think, we're in slavery right now. If you pay a bill, you're in slavery. That's why they don't want people living off the grid. They don't want people to pay for their living. Give me that. Give me this last one. They give me the extra 22. Read.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
And this is what we're going to prove here in Israelite. One verse. And I want you to see if this is accurate. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
What happened in ancient Egypt with Moses and the Israelites?
They were oppressed.
They were in slavery, right?
Yeah.
So let's read this from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
How does someone go into Egypt again with ships? Because you got to realize this is written by our ancestors, so it's also a metaphor and an allegory, in a sense. Give me that. Let's see what Egypt means in the Bible. Go ahead.
It's Exodus 20 and 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Egypt is considered the house of bondage. They were oppressed there for a certain amount of time before Moses said, what? Let my people go. And the Most High eventually brought plagues upon Egypt, and they released them. Go ahead. So let's replace Egypt with bondage here. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into bondage again with ships.
How did your ancestors get here, Mike?
Ships.
So this is the prophecy of what's going to happen to the Israelites. So what does that make you? You're an Israelite. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there
Once you get off them slave ships, read.
ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And bondmen and bondwomen, slave men and slave women, and nobody's going to buy you. Buy you, referencing redeem you. Redeeming you as in, okay, Martin Luther King, Marshall Garvey, Malcolm X, they all try to rally the troops, but it didn't work, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the ultimate savior, according to the Bible, that you're familiar with?
Jesus.
Who the world calls Christ, right? That's who's going to be the redeemer. That's why it's taking so long. Out of all the movements that we've taken up, the Black Lives Matter movement, the Brown Berets, the Black Panthers, none of that's even helped. Why? Because it's not on God's plan. God's plan has to take place in this Bible. And the start of that plan is you returning to your heritage, realizing that you're an Israelite, start keeping the commandments of God. That's the main reason that we went to slavery, all the way back in the ancient world, up until now. Once you start keeping the laws, and the rest of people, not all people, but enough people start keeping the laws, that's why things are unfolding over there in Russia and Ukraine. That's part of prophecy as well. You don't got time, but if you got to fly, you got to fly, right?
Yeah.
If you look up the fly, go on YouTube. I'm pretty sure if you have time, go on YouTube, look up some of the historical references that the Bible is referencing as far as the prophecy about Ezekiel 38. You'll look and see that that's all part of Bible prophecy. Referencing that, okay, once Ukraine and Russia start going to war, everything else will start going like a domino effect. That's why you see France riding over there. You see Israel attacking Syria, Israel attacking Lebanon and Palestine left and right. Yeah, exactly. The BRIC, you heard about the BRIC, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China. Now Mexico's talking about joining the BRIC, and they're all contrary to the American money system. And if the money system crashes in America, then what? All hell's gonna break loose, which is all part of prophecy as well. The race wars, the famine of the word, the famine of food, the famine of water. You hear about the train crashes, the train wrecks going on. They haven't reported a lot of them, but there's been hundreds of train wrecks in America in the last few months. Poisoning the water supply. Why is that? Because they get prepared to have people take that microchip. You know what I mean? I don't want to bombard you with too much, but that's our message for you, brother. The main message, like I said, repent, keep the laws of God, realize you're an Israelite. You know what I mean? We're out here every Saturday if you got time. You out here visiting?
Oh, yeah, I'm just out here visiting.
Okay, I appreciate you stopping by, brother.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
All right,
Definitely
nice to meet
appreciate
you.
your conversation.
All right.
Y'all have a good day, man. That's what we out here for, man. Edify our people. What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Doing great. You checking out the information, man?
I always collect the information you guys are in.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
I don't ever see you too much.
I'm not a religious person, you know. I always none of it, you know.
That's all good. I appreciate your time. Let's take a flyer, brother. Same message goes to you. Repent, keep the laws of God, brother.